Well, welcome, family and friends of Catalina Foothills. This is John Miller with a Friday Devotional, and I'm really taking a part two to the issue of unity in community. So if you didn't listen to the video that I gave a couple of weeks ago, you may want to check in on that. But I want to give you some principles that will help us maintain unity when we find ourselves in disagreement with a fellow believer. That's kind of my goal here. If you remember the verse from a couple of weeks ago, Paul said to the Ephesian church, "Be diligent to preserve the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace." Be diligent. We need to do all we can to preserve that unity, not at the cost of compromising our core beliefs, but we have to recognize that the devil is out to divide us, and so we need not to be ignorant of his schemes in that way. We represent Christ to a watching world, so obviously Satan wants to give a distorted picture of what Jesus looks like through the church. And my reason for addressing this topic is that Christian unity in America is really under assault. I think I see it everywhere. Both politics and pandemic threaten to polarize many and creating disharmony in families, disharmony in the faith community. And I share this not because I see disunity in Cat Foothills, because I don't, but because I know the devil's desire to create division. So let's get ahead of the game here. So I want to give you 3 principles from Proverbs that promote unity in the midst of diversity of thought, diversity of opinion. The first one is this: the one who gives an answer before he listens, this is foolishness and disgrace for him. That's Proverbs 18:13. The one who gives an answer before he hears, before he listens, this is foolishness and a disgrace for him. And so you've been there, I've certainly been there, where I have just shot off my mouth and said things, and I was premature in some of the things that I said. And if I had just asked questions or just listened longer, I would have heard people say things that would have changed what I had said. And yet I spat it off and opened the mouth, inserted foot, and wish I hadn't. We need to ask questions because we become more intelligent the more questions that we ask of someone we disagree with or we know is coming from a different perspective than we are, so that we really understand truly where they are coming from and don't assume certain things. Once I walked into a room of 2 men who were arguing about the Bible, and one man said, "Well, no, Paul didn't say that." And the other person, a few minutes later, said, "Well, Jesus, he didn't say that." And they were arguing back and forth of what Paul said or Jesus said, and there was a Bible sitting on the table between them, and neither of them thought to open it and actually prove that what they were saying was true or not true. And we can do that. We can do that. We really need to have the facts at our disposal before we go off and speak. Now, I want you to remember this: the information we have, that we have about a certain particular subject, is only as reliable as the source that we got it from. So you may feel very strongly about information you have, but where did you get that? And is that source reliable? All of us need to be asking that and not assume that our source has the true facts with it, because there's a lot of deception going on right now in our culture. Not that that this is anything new, but to me, it's greater than at any other time that I can remember. There's just false, embellished, distorted information floating around, and We ought not to just assume that our source is correct. Number two, another proverb that's very important for us. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. There's a lot of harsh rhetoric in our culture right now. It's in the air, and we should not copy it. We should not copy it. Proverbs 16:21 says, "Sweetness of speech increases persuasiveness." Sweetness of speech increases persuasiveness. At least in the end, it can tend to work out that way. So we just need to be careful how we exert ourselves and how we express ourselves. Proverbs 17:14 says, "Starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam. So drop the matter before a dispute breaks out." So that takes some wisdom there. Starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam, so drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. There are teachable moments, there are not teachable moments. There are times when your timing is way off, or people are on edge or whatever. We need to discern if this is a time where we talk about a sensitive subject or not. And having people over for dinner or during a community group may just not be the ideal time for a debate, especially in this tense political season. If you discern you can do it without feelings getting damaged in that, then more power to you. But you have to be careful about this because, we have, there's a polarization of thinking like never before in this season, even about the pandemic matters. We just need to be sensitive. A gentle answer turns away wrath. A harsh word stirs up anger. And here's a practical suggestion. When broaching politics or other controversial issues, discover where you might agree before you delve into differing opinions. See, reaching common ground fosters goodwill and encourages civility. So find out where you agree first rather than going after everything you disagree about. And I think you have a better outcome in that way. Number three, lastly, Proverbs 10:19 says, "Where there are many words, transgression is unavoidable, but he who restrains his lips is wise." Weigh what you say before you say it, because we can get in trouble. The more we talk, the more we're apt to step on somebody's toes. Proverbs 17:27-28 says, "Whoever restrains his words has knowledge, and he who has a cool spirit is a man of understanding. Even a fool, when he keeps silent, is considered wise. When he closes his lips, he is deemed intelligent." So I think I've said enough now. That's an interesting verse. We just need to, who he restrains or holds back, what he might say is actually wise. Just be careful in our use of words. So let me end with this. May our strongest opinions be about matters of eternal consequence. And may our love for Jesus and one another display a unity that demonstrates the power and the presence of Jesus to this fractured and fallen world. Hope these thoughts are helpful for you. Have a great weekend.